What's up with it, Dougie D? 3.
What's up, Magoo?
Another day, make you wanna holler.
That's what's up. Now, today, we're going to talk about all day. All day Adrian Peterson. Now, he's the biggest, baddest, roughest, toughest, rootinest, tootinest running back I think the NFL has seen in a long time. But I don't think his financial advisors are matching up to his talent, and you'll know why after this first story. According to the NFL, Adrian Peterson is deep in debt after earning over $100 million during his career. Now, thank you for trending with the iCast. We love Adrian Peterson here because of his Oklahoma connection. Most definitely.
It's tied to the Oklahoma State.
Definitely tied to Oklahoma State.
I'm deep up into this. I didn't. Like, wow.
I'm pretty.
Like, how you get $100 million, but you owe somebody else 5.2? You own a loan company 5.2 million. Like, out of $100 million. Like, what the hell?
That's pretty tough. Now it says on Tuesday, The Athletic reported that Peterson was in debt and being sued in Pennsylvania for failing to pay back a $5.2 million loan. Following the news, his attorney Chase Carlson issued a statement calling the dilemma, quote, another situation of an athlete trusting the wrong people. I'd say that's true. Now, we've heard of other athletes going through this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There's a few more athletes who definitely went through financial mismanagement. Now, the NFL is protecting themselves because the Players Association is saying that it says we have a lot of they said they have a lot of resources available as far as financial counseling and things like that for their players.
Damn all that. Where were you when I needed you in the beginning?
Now, we know that Adrian Peterson just recently, a couple years ago, was in a big controversy over disciplining his son. And a lot of people didn't like the way he was disciplining his son. And he got, what did he get, a 1-year suspension? Then he had a knee injury a couple years before that. So he's had some time off in the NFL for one reason or another. But we're rooting for Adrian. And I want him to end his career on a high note, to tell you the truth. What do you say about that?
This is just ridiculous. I'm still caught up like, jeez, $100 million, and you're in the news over a $5.2 million loan.
Wow. Remember Brewster's Millions, where a guy tried to spend so many?
He was supposed to. I mean, that's even extreme within itself, but the name of the game of Brewster's Million was to spend millions and millions of dollars with
as fast as you can,
a time period to collect more money. Like,
then
you lose it all. If you didn't spend enough, if you didn't spend a certain amount of millions by a certain time, which was midnight on a specific date, then he lost the millions that he acquired during the spending spree, plus the millions that he's supposed to get if he was to complete spending all the millions that he had. Like, what kind of... That needs to be brought up to date. Like,
yeah, maybe Adrian Peterson needs to be the
all the movie redones. That Brewster's Million, I'll put that one up there. One of Richard Pryor's best.
Oh, it's a great movie. We need Brewster's Millions 2 starring Adrian Peterson, and he'll definitely win that contest. Okay, it's a shame, and you know,
Mr. Bonita.
I want to mention that on the flip side of this, we did a story about Rihanna and how she was able to flip her brand into clothing and different other ventures. But we sure wish those same wise men would have gotten to Adrian here. But I guess we will move on from that. Shout out to Adrian Peterson, man. Play a couple more years, and you know, 1 year's worth of salary is going to be more than a lot of people make in their whole life. So try to get that taken care of. Okay, now the big topic for the day all over the news has been Robert Mueller's congressional hearing. Now, this is. I know we were watching it before the show, and we were seeing some of the jokes that were being told off of the hearing because the guy didn't answer any questions. It seemed like this Robert Mueller guy is a big disappointment for those who thought that Trump was dead in the water and hired this guy. It seems like he's who's he working for? All right, getting into it.
No, he didn't really help Trump's case. He actually helped sink Trump's ship, but at the same time, for the Americans who have common sense and know what's really going on, it's more like, we're wasting our tax dollars on this. You're hired for this, like.
And then the investigation comes up with nothing, and it's just.
No, it comes up with something, but it was like, I'm not sure if you got into it though. For the gist of it, it was like, it was all these hundreds of pages, and there's two parts to it. The first part was pretty much the dummy part for us, that like, oh yeah, we didn't really find none. But then Mueller made up a whole nother new category, a part two, and put Trump in that. And from the logistic, one of the lawmakers said, yes, we said Trump is not above the law, but he's neither beneath the law, under the law either. Like, he made subcategories to put Trump under this category.
And anytime you're talking about the president, there are certain privileges that other citizens can't. Well, you have executive privileges of pardon. You have.
If you are just joining us, two young men apparently dressed in long black trench coats opened fire about an hour and a half ago.
Some very, very sketchy details reaching us here at Sky Central. Not enough to bring to you, though, at this early stage.
And this is a Fox News alert. We're still waiting to get the
45 miles southwest of Philadelphia. Now in front
turning up lost in some unknown. Silence so mighty you go dead. And bombs are going off inside your chest.
Gangsta Rizzy. It must be the end of time, cause everywhere a nigga look, I'm seeing children die, and they get younger, so many suffering from hunger. Dirty system cold, they only worry about money. Police killing innocent people and getting away with it, supposed to protect us. Instead, they only slay niggas. They want us off the face of this earth. We keep taking each other off, so we just making it worse. Trying to survive as I ride with my steel at night. Dying for mine, Jack boys gon' have to steal my life. Steady praying for a better day. On the grind trying to eat like I never ate, wishing there was a better way to put food on the table. I gotta set her straight. Pressure on my shoulders, I wasn't able to get a plate. The end is coming soon, they'll be running soon. The end is coming, it's true, prepare for doom.
The end is near, I can feel it. People dying every day, God, we need a healing. And it don't matter what you say, cause it's coming. Police is at your front door, ready to gun it. And people steady act like they don't know it. What y'all gonna do when they start talking about that martial law? I tell a few, but I can't get it through to all of y'all. Instead of being up on game, y'all blindly go along. Police is shooting like they Cupid. Innocent children getting killed and y'all just acting stupid. But I guess that's how the game go. They desensitize us by what they put on cable. Realize the lies that y'all putting on y'all table. That ain't real food that they be making, it's called GMO. And the schools be lying to us. They skip over black history like it ain't nothing to us.
Progression on me, progression on 3.
8,000 league. Shit on, here we go. Right there.
7 days with your attorney, privileges with your cabinet.
You always got attorney-client privilege, but very interesting. Out of all this came out today, I did run across something interesting. There's a prosecutor or someone that worked for the Congress that was on the Watergate scandal and pretty much in the same boat. But they turned over any and everything. Like they didn't spare Richard Nixon at all. Like, you gotta get to the bottom of it here. Boom, you're being prosecuted and investigated like any other Joe Schmo. And that's how that was the demise of Richard Nixon.
So, let's get into it. According to the Huffington Post, Robert Mueller's opening statements to Congress, Mueller's testimony before the House Judiciary Committee and House Intelligence Committee comes after months of pushback from President Donald Trump. Former Special Counsel Robert Mueller testifies before the House Judiciary Committee and House Intelligence Committee on Wednesday. Mueller will testify about his office's investigation into Russian interference. Now, I was seeing kind of what it looks like to me was kind of a cop-out by Mueller prefacing a lot of his statements by putting out a press release saying that his report will suffice as his statement, as his main statement. And I thought that was pretty cowardly of him because a lot of people want to hear him actually say what he found. We spent all this tax dollars. We spent all these tax dollars on this investigation, and the American people need to know what Mueller knows. Honestly.
We have a right to know.
We have a right to know.
No one's above the law.
But, I mean, I don't know how this will affect Trump's legacy moving forward if he even have one left.
You heard him on, like you said, we was just watching this right before we began to tape. Busy night. Before we began taping, and said it right then and there out of Mueller's own mouth. Some things were illegal, and he was saying he was trying to go in circles.
At certain times, certain things were illegal. It's like, let's see, what could those things be?
It's like you're trying to bend the rule, bend the law in front of our eyes, literally. Like, bend the law. Like, hey, well, to another person, this might be illegal, but to him, no, it's not. It's wrong. Was that how what do you say about the elections? They said, is this the norm? He's like, I don't want it to be the norm, but it definitely looks like it is.
Yeah, it looks like it is. But, I think a lot of people wanted nothing short of Trump out of office. And aside from the election, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to do this the political, democratic way if we're going to get this guy out of office. Otherwise, he's going to get 4 more years. He's going to get impunity for the Russian scandal. And definitely let's not hire any more clowns like Robert Mueller.
From what I've seen, is better, less messy to let him finish off. Both sides agree it's better, less messy, let him finish office, get him out that way, impeach him under the cart rug, whatever. But no one wants to see basically what happened to Richard Nixon all over again.
Spinning, T-Lou. You know what I'm saying? This for my niggas right here. Load up your clips, my nigga. It's about to go down. We spinning right now. You know what I'm saying? This thing is real out here in the field. Go.
This chicken's dogging me out, man. They bring the dog in me out. Yeah. You know I'm winning from beginning to the ending. When I'm spinning, leave them all. No. This is the Microphone Fiend on ItCast. Go check out the all-day mini movie by WD3.
Maxim Dadashev's death sparks controversy over boxing's safety. Wow. We hadn't heard of a guy dying in a ring in a long time. I remember Boom Boom Mancini killed a guy back in the day and a couple others, but this has been a while. since I've heard it. Now, getting into it, according to Boxing on Twitter, Dadashev died as a result of brain injuries suffered during his 11-round fight against Subriel Matias on July 19th. After his death was announced, boxing was placed under a stern microscope as fans pleaded for better safety parameters in a sport whose foundation is built on its brutality. Now, we hate to see a story like this.
When did this happen?
This was July 19th.
This just happened.
And he was in the hospital for a few days before they had put him in a induced coma, and he succumbed to brain swelling a few days after. So we're definitely praying for Maxim's family and everybody affected by this, and his team and the other boxer. I'm sure that man did not, Subriel did not plan on killing a man that night. But, you know, that's the nature of the sport. I guess we forget sometimes when we see these great boxers and the defense they play and how they're able to protect themselves in the ring. But when something like this happens, it does put the sport in question. What do you think?
I don't know how, man. You kind of one of the things, you know what you sign up for. There's a possibility. You go get on a bull or a mechanical bull, you got to sign a waiver.
Now, a lot of people are blaming his trainers. I was reading some tweets over this, and they were blaming his trainers, saying that a good trainer would save a boxer from themselves. They would not let this man stretch to the point to where he's harming himself, and they'll protect him. Do you see that angle here?
As I stated, you got certain jobs, you know what comes with that job. Like, it's like a bull rider. You got to sign a waiver. You know, the 8 seconds, the rodeo type thing. And you know what type of job you get into and you take that job.
And it also makes you think about what great fighters, the Mayweathers and the Whitakers and the defensive guys, the Tysons and all them were, because
it's not the same as football. Not by far.
Not by far.
You can't make a movie about concussions and this and that about boxing. Like this is that sport. That's why they get paid that much money.
You ever heard an old boxer talk? It's like this guy checked out after his last fight. He's like,
But again, that's why they get paid all that money, because they're taking the blows to the head and it's potentially dangerous. Blood sport. Boxing is a blood sport.
Wow.
Believe that.
Well, I mean, I would say I would agree with you on some points that this is part of the game, and I would say fans, you know, every sport has its tragedies. I would still say support boxing. I think the heavyweight division is getting better. I think what this tells me is that in the youth level, we need to have better skills training so that guys can protect themselves better. But some things can't be avoided. If you get a mismatch in the ring, one man's going to pound on the other guy, period, point blank. All right. So, moving on to Did You Know? This is a great NBA story right here, because we've been keeping our eye on this young man for a long time, and I'm a big Zion fan. I'm going to go on and say it right now. He's one of my favorite new players. Now, Zion, he's hooked up with one of my old favorites. According to the NBA on Twitter, Zion Williamson inks multi-year deal with Jordan Brand. The #1 overall pick announced that he's signing with the Jumpman. Details of the deal yet to be revealed. Now, we know the Pelicans drafted Zion #1 overall. They won the lottery. They were able to give up Anthony Davis because they had this asset, and in return for Anthony Davis, they got a bunch of young players from the Lakers. I'm really keeping my eye on the New Orleans Pelicans and what Zion Williamson does this year. I think his physical gifts pretty much makes him a sure shot to dominate. I'm just going to be honest. 285 pounds. He jumps 50 inches in the air off a vertical. I mean, just too much to be stopped. What do you think about that?
To an extent. I mean, every player has to go through their run and see if they live up to the hype. I'm glad LeBron is one of the ones who did live up to the hype. You know, him and
Absolutely.
Carmelo Anthony came out at the same time. They both had hype surrounding them, and LeBron lived up to it. As of right now, Zion, he got re-injured, a different type of injury during the summer league.
Bump knees with the guy.
Yeah, bump knees. That's got him down. I've seen another article where they said he's out of shape. He shouldn't play in the summer league. I'm thinking, well, if he's out of shape, maybe he should have been playing in the summer league to get in shape. But who knows? So
I think we're going to get to the point.
Let's see if he lives up to the hype.
We're going to get to the point where the Zion Williamses of the world, they're probably not going to be playing summer league. Because of injuries in the future and things like that, you're pretty much going to be seeing a second-round draft picks and some guys who excelled in the G League, and they want to give another look when you're talking about
somewhere or another. They need to get in shape before the regular season. They need to work that into their schedule.
Now, with all this money, I'm always troubled whenever I'm hearing of an athlete not being in shape. I mean, it always rubs me the wrong way when you got a guy with everything at his fingertips, but he's not willing to put in the work. That always bothers me. But at the same time, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Zion's going to do. The coaching staff, Gentry down there and Griffin, they're very happy to have them. They're happy to have the additions they have. I believe they got Favors. I think they got Favors, if I'm not mistaken. That's a heck of a pickup if they got that guy.
I don't even know.
The guy from Utah out of Georgia Tech, man, he's a baller. He's a big man down low. But anyway, I also want to touch on before we get out of here, since we're talking about Jordan and LeBron, who's better to you, Jordan or LeBron?
They're different leagues.
If you were to pick a team, who would you pick first, Jordan? If those two were the choices?
Not teams, because Jordan had a full roster. I had a conversation with some other Kings earlier about that. Jordan had Pippen, Rodman, Kerr, Armstrong, Purdue. He had a team. Jordan, I'll put my money where my mouth is. Jordan never did nothing by himself. Never. He didn't get not one ring by himself ever.
Then a lot of people noticed that he didn't start getting over the top until Scottie Pippen came into the mix.
Pippen, but again, their very first ring, they had B.J. Armstrong, shooter. They had Steph Curry,
Paxson.
Steve Kerr, Paxson. Like, he's had a team ever since Jordan got a ring. It never was just him and one other person. He's had a team.
Right. Well,
on top of that, when he was in the league, 5, 6, 7 years before he even got a ring?
Well, famously, he was getting put out every first round. LeBron never got put out in the first round, ever. And the 9 finals and the 8 straight finals, I got to give the edge to LeBron. I always go bigger, stronger, faster if I'm comparing players. I'm sorry, 260 pounds, runs a 4.43, 4.4 40. He jumps out of the building. I'm sorry, Jordan couldn't touch LeBron. Plus, Jordan played during the expansion era. That's when he started winning, when the Orlando Magic, Vancouver Grizzlies, Charlotte, all those guys were coming into the league and stealing starters off of the other teams. Whenever the league was at its strongest, I think Jordan also ran Magic, Bird. Those guys dominated. But I think LeBron, when Kobe left, this became LeBron's league. So there's a lot of variables in there. And don't forget about Kobe. Stop disrespecting Kobe. 5 rings. I think Kobe's top 5. Whoever you got in there, bump him down a notch, put Kobe in there. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for trending with the iiTT. Weigh in on who's better, LeBron or Jordan, right here. Let us know who you think. Also, tell us how much you love the show, and thank you for subscribing, and leave a comment about the show and any story that you're interested in. You're trending.
Vision at Twitter. iiTT at Twitter.
WD3_Black Guy at Twitter. Also check out my Instagram, WD3WillBlackGuy at Instagram. Hey, thanks for trending with the iiTT. Peace.
think I'm crazy, 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 yeah, but I'm no fool. I won't be no fool for you. Think I'm crazy, 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 but I'm no fool. I won't play no fool for you.
But then when we say it like this, don't play no fool for you, then it make it seem like that.
But yeah, we kind of was going along with the bullshit you were saying for a minute, obviously. We saying we won't play no fool. Like, we had to know, we had to be in position to be playing fool. We saying we won't play no fool. Like, I'm not gonna play no fool for you. Like, I'm not gonna act like I don't see this shit, bitch. That's how we coming in, really, by saying I won't play no fool for you. It's really basically saying, like, I see everything you do.
Everything.
Like, I'm not about to sit here and be like,
I'm not dumb, I might let little shit slide.
Little shit slide. I was gonna let you get away with whatever, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it was, you know, just like, I'll let you, you know what I mean? But it was never like, I was going for your bullshit. Like, you know what I'm right back. You think you can do the same shit, and I think you can do the same shit. I'll be right back.
Used to drive me crazy when you had my phone.
So we said, what was gonna come in the first word up?
You must or you might.
No, the hook.
I'm just saying, like, this melody.
What's it come?
You know what I'm saying? That's the first one rhythm for, I don't know what the word is.
Touch. Yeah, it's not right.
Nah. Man, I gotta throw that. No, I'm talking about, man, I just verse keep on popping in my head and it ain't got shit to do with it. We're talking about stuff. Listen to this shit though.
Long time, no speak. But lady, I know we've been down this road before, girl, it's been up. Lady, I know we've been down this road before, girl, it's been some time.
No.
Lady, I know we've been down this road. You must think I'm crazy, but I'm no fool.
You see, if we don't say I ain't no, but I won't be no fool for you, then we can, you know what I'm saying? We kind of, yeah. So that's just, is it that tight to where we want to keep that in? I mean, I don't think it's that dope enough for us to keep that in. That can be something like, we can say like it's like another added vocal in the back, you know, it ain't gonna just be dry, like we're gonna be in the background. It's one of those.
Yeah, you said push that motherfucker backward.
Or that can be used one long down the road.
I mean, shit, we can put it out. Alright,
So that's for the lights, not though, man.
So basically just stop it. But I ain't no fool. But I'm no fool.
You can see I'm crazy, 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 crazy. But I'm no fool. I think I'm crazy, 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 crazy. But I'm no fool. I'm no fool. Baby, I'm no fool. A long time. I don't know why I got